mantra. Please repeat after me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. That Brahman is infinite and this universe is also infinite. The infinitude comes out from the infinite, that is Brahman. But taking the infinitude of the infinite, namely this universe, it remains as the infinite, that is Brahman alone. Om, peace, peace, peace unto all. Now, this is the main teaching of the Upanishad. We always say like that. Oneness, that is the idea. But we always think that we are different. Why? Because we have superimposed that idea on us, but it is not real. So today we will find that the King Janaka, he is asking this question to a great sage, Yajnavalkya. And he is asking, what is this Atman you are talking about? Now that will be our main point of discussion. And you know that those who are following, particularly this class, this discourse, we are studying or discussing the Vedanta on the basis of the Brhadaranyaka Upanishad. It's a very famous Upanishad, and its name itself says it's Brihad. It's a huge. Aranyaka is like a forest. And this is a Upanishad, is a knowledge that takes us near to God, near to the Atman, near to the Brahman. And this forest means that so many varieties of ideas. So obviously, people are thoroughly confused. They do not understand what they should do. The ideas are so many. If you go and discuss with people in the train or somewhere you are visiting, I don't have idea in America and Europe, but in India, if you are just start a discussion in a train compartment, you will find at least 5 or 6 people speaking in different views. Because they are aware of it and they like to discuss about it, and they will give you the ideas how we can get the freedom. Some will talk about the wealth. If we get the wealth in this world, we are happy. And some are talking about this, some are talking about that, and some are very dogged about this God that he or she is worshipping, like this. But Upanishad will take you slowly, slowly to the conception of oneness. And that one is the ultimate goal. The King Janaka, he was having a debate with Yajnavalkya. And Yajnavalkya was very happy. And seeing his eagerness to understand and the clarity of thought, then naturally as a teacher he became very happy and he said, I like to give you a boon. What boon you want? Yajnavalkya was a Brahmagyani. Now Janaka could ask, give me the liberation of the Brahmagyana, but no. Janaka wanted a very special gift. Sir, allow me so that I can ask question to you anytime, anywhere. Wherever I will meet you, I have the right to ask a question. Then naturally Yajnavalkya was very happy. Yes, that boon was given. Now the Yajnavalkya is coming to the court of the Janaka. Janaka was the king. Yajnavalkya was the Muni, the Rishi. He was having the school. He needed the support, monetary support from the king. So usually they used to visit. And when he was entering, he decided, I am not going to talk. I won't talk. Because talking means a lot of time goes over here. I have to get some donation and go back. I have some other work. But the moment he entered, then the Janaka, he said, Sir, I have some question. Now, what he will do, because he has already given the boon, anytime, anywhere, you can ask the question. So he had to see it and then answering. Now, this is the characteristic of the Vedantic student. They never depend on others. Janaka could get the blessings of liberation or the Brahma Jnana without doing anything. He could say, Sir, just bless me so that I get the realization. No, I should do it. Some other day, someone was inquiring why Swami Vivekananda meditated in the Kakri Ghat. Kakri Ghat is a place in the north side of India, and there's a beautiful river, and there was a peepal tree. Swami Vivekananda and one of his Guru Bhais, they went over there. They were just traveling, that is the habit of the sannyasins. So they went over there, and that is a river, and you have to climb a little hill. Then there's a village. You can go and get some food from the villagers. That's called Bhiksha. Swamiji said, the Ganges means Gangadhar. His name was Gangadhar. Swamiji used to call him Ganges. Ganges, you better go and beg for us. Let me sit over here and take some rest. Gangadhar Maharaj climbed, he went over there. Luckily, I too could go over there. I also went over there, I also came, didn't bathe, but took the water, touched the water and sat under the peepal tree. But I don't know what happened. But Swamiji, after bathing, he sat, and when Gangadhar Maharaj came back, and he was so happy, Ganges, I have solved my life's problem today. What is that? Whatever is there in the macrocosm, that is here in the microcosm. Whatever is there in me, that is there in all over the universe. Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate. This sloka that we chant, that he realized. Now the question is, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna touched that Vivekananda when he was young, and he had the realization of the Brahman. He saw the oneness in everything. Those who have read the biography of Vivekananda, you know that. 3 days and 3 nights, constantly he was enjoying the realization of oneness. He was so happy. Now, why then he wanted to have again the meditation? Or Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna blessed him because he was asking him to, I want the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What is that Nirvikalpa Samadhi? We read all this, but what actually it is? Then one day he got that also. Sri Ramakrishna was sick and he was lying down on the upper story, and just below that room he was meditating. When you go to India, visit Calcutta and visit these places, because you like this ideology of Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda, and those things were leaving. You should go to that particular room where Vivekananda got the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Vivekananda sat and he started shouting. Others who were meditating around, they heard it. Vivekananda saying, where is my hand? Where is my feet? I can't recognize. So one of them, they ran to Sri Ramakrishna and said, Naren has died, passed away in meditation, and he has become ghost and he's shouting. Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, no problem. He will be all right. After, when he came down and became normal, he came to Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna told, see, you wanted that samadhi, experience of samadhi, I have given it to you, but you must work for me. Then only I will give you the key for liberation. The key for liberation is in my hand. Until and unless you work, I am not going to give it back to you. So that was. Then why again Narendra, the Vivekananda, meditated over there in Kakri Ghat? Because he wanted to experience it himself. Guru gave, that's okay. And intellectually I have understood, that is also all right. I must experience myself. And that is the attitude of Vedantic student. Those who want to follow the path of knowledge, I am on my own feet. I am not taking the help of anyone. You just guide me. Here we find Janaka also is saying to that same thing, Sir, give me the idea, give me the knowledge, show me the path. I will do it. So he was asking. King met the Rishi and asked some questions. He said, a very simple question he was asking. That is the speciality of Brhadaranyaka Upanishad. They always start with something very, very normal, simple, but slowly take us to the in-depth. Those who remember, this book began with that Ashwamedha Yajna. And there the description, if you start reading, then after a few pages you will lose interest. Because how the horse is standing, which side, north and south, and then the horse tail is this, the head is this. Who is going to read that? But if you, with all patience, read slowly, then that will take you to the depth of knowledge. And that is Brahmagyan. Here we find, he is asking, Sir, what is the light for a person? Then, what is the light for a person? And the Yajnavalkya said, sun, at the time in the daytime, it is sun. Again he is asking, suppose there is no sun. When sun is not there, what will be the light for a person? Then he said, moon. Suppose sun is also not there, moon is also not there, what will be the light for a person? He said, fire. He will light up a fire and then he can see. Then he is asking, when the sun is not there, moon is not there, light is also not there, then what will be the thing that will show him the path? Yajnavalkya said, sound. And it's like when I was reading, the long back, someone told me a funny story. That two persons, they were traveling in a train. And it was a three-tier train, that on the top tire, one young man was lying, and below, another elderly person, in between another gentleman. So when the train started, it is moving, and almost night, all people are sleeping. Now these two started conversing. From the above he asked, Sir, where you are going? I am going to Delhi. Oh, is it? I am also going to Delhi. Then after some time, from below he asked, where in Delhi? Karol Bagh. Oh, in Karol Bagh? I also live in Karol Bagh. I will also go to Karol Bagh. And in between the person is trying to sleep, they are going on conversing. And then, in Karol Bagh, where do you live? Oh, that apartment, Lakshmi apartment, in that apartment. You say it, in Lakshmi apartment. I also live in Lakshmi apartment. Now it was too much for the third man sleeping. Then he said, Lakshmi apartment, which number? Your flat number? Oh, 352. 352? I live also in 352. Then the third man, he jumped up and said, will you stop? You live in the same apartment, you don't know each other. Why not? He is my son. Oh my God, he is your son, then why you are asking this question? No, somebody told when you are traveling, you should have conversation. So we are having the conversation. So, what a father and a son will converse, so they are having the conversation. So, this way, he is asking, in the daytime, what is the light? Then when the sun is not there, what is the light? If the sun and moon is not there, what is the light? Sun, moon and the fire is not there, what is the light? Sound. Then afterwards is coming, he said, when sun, moon, fire, sound, all are absent, what is that? He said, Atmana vai asya jyoti bhavati. Atmaiva asya jyoti bhavati. Now here we entered into them. It is like in the Indian song, they will go for sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. Then they will come and again from sa. So that is the style. So they will go on telling this, they again come to Brahman. And it says, when nothing is there, so Atmaiva asya jyoti bhavati. That means he himself will find out a path. When nothing is there to show, no sound even. Somebody is calling and then I can know that from this sound is coming, so let me go. That is not there. But that person will then go into himself and will try to think and find out a path. That Atman become its light. In the awakening stage, light is necessary. Similarly, we experience light in our dream stage also. Now the explanation. How the Atman become the light? In the waking stage, we need the light. But how we see the dream? One person who was sleeping with the glasses on. Then somebody will say, why you are putting the glass while sleeping? No, I like to see the dream clearly. Otherwise, I may not see the dream clearly, so I am putting the glass. Like this, we need light to see the dream also. And in dream, we see the same light. The sun, the moon, and these and that. So many things we see. Light is there. What is that light? Light means knowledge. When you are experiencing something, that is the light, that is the knowledge. So what is that knowledge? Itself the Atman. Waking stage, that light is necessary. And at the dream stage also, not only that, we see the chosen deity, Ishta Devata, that is also glowing in light. So that also the knowledge. When the Ishta Devata, you are meditating on the Ishta Devata, the Guru will always tell you to see that effulgent light. The light is emanating. And that light you are seeing that. We need light. Our self serves as light. What does it mean actually? There is already the consciousness. And that consciousness is the light. It is not the sun. Suppose my body is there, all the organs are there, but my consciousness is not there in the body. I am a dead body lying outside. Do I see the sun or the moon or the fire? Nothing. So what is the main thing in our whole body and mind is the self, is the Atman, is the consciousness. Again and again, in a different story, different way, they take our mind to that. Consciousness is the main thing. And this consciousness, sometimes we call it Ishta Devata, chosen idol. I love some God. I like the little baby Krishna. All the pranks that he is doing, I love it. So I always think about the Krishna. And as a mother, I am taking care of the God. That is my Ishta Devata, and I always dream about that. What happens? When a person is doing like that, he forgets other things and constantly is concentrating on that particular Krishna. And someone is meditating on the light itself, on the Omkara itself. And what actually they do, they disconnect with the world and go to that particular condition of meditation, concentration. Disconnecting from the world is the main thing. That we cannot do. Why? Even a small little baby also can't, because this life he has not experienced. But the past experience it is carrying. The mind is always turbulent, thinking so many things. And if you observe, sometimes the babies are smiling, they're crying, and that many things they happen, and they say it is all the experience of their past lives. The Ishta Devata and our self serves as light. Hearing this, the king Janaka said, Katam Atmeti. Now the question. Now, he actually could directly ask, what is that self? What is that Atman? But instead, he was asking the light, and then finally, when he said, it is the Atman which gives the light, that means the knowledge, shows you the path. Now he is asking, Sir, Katam Atmeti, what is this Atman? Ya ayam Vijnanamaya. Now you cannot say directly, this is Atman. Now I can put the finger on this table and can say, this is the table. This is the wood. This is the microphone. But you cannot say, this is Atman. Why? Because this is subjective. If it is an object, you can always pinpoint, you can always show, this is this. What is your eye? We can say, this is my eye, this is my nose, this is my ear. Well, the object is there, my thing. It is belonging to me. And I can show it also, because subject, object. Who is the subject? I, the consciousness. What is the object? My nose and my ear. But when you say, what is the Atman? How can you say, this is Atman? No. You cannot say, pointing to the heart, this is Atman. Then what is Atman? You have to give some idea. And from there, you have to grasp that idea. Otherwise, it is impossible. So when it says like that, Ya ayam Vijnanamaya. What is the Atman? That which is reflected in the intellect. Now, friends, we have to remember this. Because we are studying the Vedanta, and Vedanta says, I am conscious, but it is not real consciousness. The reflected consciousness. The consciousness, which is all-pervading, is not present within me, actually reflecting it. Reflecting on what? On intellect. We have a body, we have a mind, and mind has 4 parts also. What is the 4 part? Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahamkara. These are the 4 rooms are there in the mind. And this Buddhi is the sharpest thing, very clear. And that's why the consciousness is reflecting on the Buddhi very prominently. It is reflecting on the body also. It is reflecting on the mind also. Reflecting on all parts. But the Buddhi, as because it is very clear, it is reflecting again, reflecting back. And that is why we can see, we can move, we can talk, we can think, we can do everything. And how it is possible? Now when Jesus said, I and my Father in heaven are one. How he is one? Is the consciousness. Because that is also conscious, I am also conscious. And in the Hindus they say, Tattvamasi, the same thing. You are that. How can I be that? That is the Atman. It is all-pervading. Every knowledge is there. But I am limited. How can I be the same? In consciousness. You are also conscious, that is also conscious. So, you can prove in that. There's again the argument is there. Lakshana, Jahal Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, Jahal Ajahal Lakshana. By that way you can prove that this is. When I say, my house is on the river, just come, it is on the river. What do you mean by on the river? On the bank of the river, right? So similarly, when you say that this is I am that, it is not this body, it is not this mind, it is not the association or the epithets, the upadhis that I am having. It is the consciousness. And this consciousness, it is Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya means it understands. And when things understand, immediately it is the power. And it removes the fear. If you understand something, it removes the fear. Vijnanamaya, praneshu, which is in the organ, the prana, the force that is in the organ, that is also hridiyanta yotihi, which is the light in intellect, and that Purusham. When it says Purusham, it doesn't mean male. It says that which is residing inside. That's called Pura. Pura means the Paurashabha. That's in India they say Paurashabha. That means the Pura, the house, a city. This is the city. This body is the city. And in that city, something is residing. So Purusha, that Purusha is that Atman. Consciousness reflecting on the intellect is the individual self. Then what is Jivatma? It is that consciousness that is reflecting. Now what happens? Slowly it's taking into that. Sabha ayam purusho jayamana. This individual self, assuming the body, get connected with evils. Papmo vi samsrijyate. What is the papa? Now here in the Upanishad we find the word papa, the sin. What is the sin? This body and its organ get connected with the objects. Rupa, Rasa, Shabda, Sparsha and Gandha. These are the 5 objects. Rupa, the form. Rasa, the taste. Shabda, the sound. And the same way, the other 2. So this is the way the 5 objects are there, 5 organs are there, and they get connected, they bring the information, and we do all problem because we disconnect with the original. We disconnect ourselves from the original. Almost the same story it is in the Old Testament, that they ate a fruit and they developed the body consciousness. They were hiding. They could not come out before the God, and God banished them. And they they describe that this is the original sin. And original sin, so you are suffering. There's a different way they explain. We say, actually, we developed ego. The moment I developed ego, I am disconnected with the original. Toma hote jabe hui he bimukh aponar pane chai. In Rabindranath, it says, when I turn my attention not to you, but to me, mrittu he sadhare mrittura roop, dukkho hai he dukkhero koop, toma hote jabe hui he bimukh aponar pane chai. This is a great poet. He also realized the same truth, that I suffered the death like a death, terrible death. And I suffer in every step. Why? Because I have deviated from your path. Instead of you, now I am concentrating on me. I have withdrawn. So what is that? That is called original sin in the terminology of the Old Testament. So this ahamkara, and it says it is a jayamana, sabha ayam purusho, that particular consciousness, jayamana, what he does, he accepts a body and then he get attached with the organs. Sa samanasan, that reflected consciousness get mixed up. Now different type of thoughts are coming in different minds. Why we are different? Because we get mixed up with something. Suppose the light is reflecting on a colored glass. You cannot take the light out of that colored glass. It will look like that. If the light is reflecting on red colored glass, you will see the light at red, or yellow, or blue, or green. It is light only, as because it is reflecting on different color, so we see that color. We don't see the light, we see that color. And similarly, we see the elephant, we see the lion, we see this man, we see that person, the man, woman, the old and the young, all these differences comes because that same light is reflecting through different glasses. different color. And this is the way a Vedantin, he thinks. One is reflecting in everything. And it says, Ubhau loko anusancharanti. And where it goes, Ubhau loko, in this life and the next life. So here in the Brhadaranyaka Upanishad, we find the acceptance of the next life also. It is not the one birth. Again and again, we are taking birth. Next life is also there. Who goes? This reflected consciousness. So they say that this body is gross body and sthula sharira. Gross means sthula. Sthula sharira, sukshma sharira. There is a subtle body also. Inside that there is a subtle body. The subtle body mainly is the mind. And in the mind there are so many impressions are there. Sometimes you will find that the small little boy, the fingers are not grown even, and playing the tabla. And so eager, and he knows, and he is playing. Where from that knowledge came? From the past life. Sometimes you will find that the small children, they are giving the answer and the reply, and people are so amused to see that. But actually, she or the he is carrying the impressions of the past life. And what is this past life? This consciousness, which is reflecting in the mind, it never dies. In the 15th chapter of the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it gives the clear idea of the Atman. And in there it says, you cannot cut it, you cannot burn it, and you cannot wet it with the water. Nainam chindantri shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, nachainam kledayantapa, shoshayati marutaha, like that is explained. It gives a clear idea about the Atman, that is something which is there, and you cannot touch it. It is there always. And within us, it is reflected one, not original. And what is this all study and the religious life and the spiritual practices? To go back to the original. Now I am reflected. So I know even in the reflection it is so much knowledge, so much happiness, so much joy. If I go back to the original, think of it. So Brahma Jnana Prapti, you have to have the Brahma Jnana, realization of the Brahman. Though in other words they say Prapti, that means you are getting, you are not getting, you are already that. You are not getting, you are already that. And that only you are removing. That's all. So this is the way when we are understanding. In the Upadesha Sahasri that I was studying in the Hindu temple, every first Saturday of every month I go to Hindu temple Lemont. We are now studying Upadesha Sahasri. And there the Shankaracharya, he is mentioning the Guru Shishya Sambhada going on. And he is telling, the Guru is telling to the Shishya is saying, oh my God, if all these things is my character, is my real nature, then there is no chance for me. Because this is me. How can I change myself? So suffering is obvious. Then the Guru said, no, this nimittameva, this is nimitta, that means for something happened and so this is happening. So if you can control that, the reason, then there will be no problem. So this, I cannot sleep. Why? There is a sound outside. Now it is not that insomnia, I cannot sleep, not that. There is a reason, the sound. So if I stop the sound, I can sleep. Similarly, I am suffering. Is it my nature? Is my character? Is this me? No. Then some reason is there. Bhagavan Buddha, in the 4 steps he said, Jagat Dukkhamay. That's true. It has a reason. Why suffering? There is a reason. What is the reason? Your desire. Let there be all those things. Why you are going to eat it and accept it, enjoy it? Then you are suffering. If you are not, then there is no problem. So those who are having some diabetic problem and this, they should be avoiding the sugar as the doctors advises. That doesn't mean that you have to remove all the factories and sugar and all that. Maybe some of the leaders, if they were there, and then they would have asked, hey, stop all these factories because I cannot eat sugar. No, not like that. You should not do that. Stop the reason, get the result. For me, if I stop the reason, I won't get the suffering. What is the reason? Desire. If I don't have the desire, I just enjoy everything, but I am not having any desire. I go to see the tulip garden, but I don't have desire to develop a tulip garden, selling the tulip flowers, then getting the money. No planning of that. Just go, see, maybe you take 1 or 2 pictures and then we forget. So no suffering. Suppose this year tulip is not coming up, then no suffering at all. Oh, there is no tulip, there is no rain, then there is no snow. That's why the flower is not coming. No problem. Because I am not attached to that. But those who are having the business, they will suffer. So obviously, everything has a cause and the effect. I suffer because I desire. So it says, Patmo bhi samsrijyate. You are attached to the papa, the sin. Sin is desire. And that desire in you saw samana san, that reflected on the consciousness, get mixed up, and you think that you are that. The consciousness, when get mixed up with the mind, with the intellect, with the desire, then you think, I am doing that. What is the difference between a Mahapurusha, a great soul, and an ordinary person? This much. We go to a great soul, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, or Lord Buddha, or Jesus, or Swami Vivekananda. What is the difference? They are also human beings, just like us. Then their difference is they are not attached. Not that they were not there, they were very much there. And Swami Vivekananda liked different type of dishes. So you should make the dish in this way, that way, but no desire at all. In America, in one place, he went to somebody's house, and that I think Lemont. So, and he said, today you must prepare some good dishes for the breakfast. I'm coming. He went for a walk, morning walk. He went and sat under a tree, and then he merged into samadhi. He forgot. People, when they were searching for him, it was too late, he is not coming back. They found him sitting under a tree. They shouted, they called, he never came back. Then they went and then wanted to touch him. There is no life in his body. Then they were afraid that he has passed away. Then one lady, she knew, Swami Vivekananda said, if you find me in this condition, take the name of my Guru, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Then she started chanting the name of Sri Ramakrishna to his ear. And hearing that name, slowly his life came back. He became again normal. So this type of people, they are in this world, they are asking for food, and someone has written, Vivekananda loved to eat. And then people, oh, Vivekananda. But Vivekananda also could control all his desires. Can you do that? As Vivekananda is doing this means I should do this only. No. Vivekananda also could forget everything, this world. We need to go into samadhi. So that is the main goal for in our spiritual life. Not that we should give up everything. Some people, sometimes they will give up everything and they will go to the remote places. You know, sometimes some people, just to control the tongue that they should not eat, they pierce the needles in the tongue so that they cannot eat. The physical torture, you cannot control by that way. Your mind, you have to control the mind. And there was a great sage. He went out and he had some weaknesses for the women. So he told, no, I am not going to be here in the village. So he went and practiced meditation and prayer for 12 long years. Then he came back thinking that I am free. And the moment he entered into the village, he found that some of the ladies are bathing in the village pond. He looked at that and immediately that old impression came back and he became disgusted on himself. He said, my God, why? After 12 long years, still I could not come over. So let me become blind so that I won't see this and there will be no reflection in my mind. So he actually pierced his eyes and he became the blind, the Surdas. His name was Surdas, a great poet and great sage also afterwards. The people in the northern India, they don't tell the blind man, they say Surdas. Surdas means the blind person. So these are the stories, but you cannot control your desire by torturing your organs. You have to control your mind. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said in that way, just by giving up the fish and the betel leaf, you don't become the pure. Mach pan tag noy. That means what? The people in Bengal, they used to, after the food, they used to enjoy chewing the betel leaf. So that, now I have to renounce the first betel leaf, then they love eating fish, though I should not eat fish. It has nothing, no value. That goes to the body. You have to control the mind. No attachment. If I get, it's okay. If I don't get, that is also okay. So here he mentioned this connection. It goes to two different lokas. Ubo loko sancharati. Travel between this world and the next world. Tasya va ekasya purushasya de eva sthane bhavata. In the 9th verse of the 3rd chapter, it says, that individual self has two places only. One here, idamcha, and another is next, paraloka sthanam. Paraloka. After death also, it will go. Sometimes some people, when they are suffering, they commit suicide. They think, bah, now I am free. No. Who are suffering? Not your body, your mind you are suffering. So when you commit suicide, you get free from the body. But body has nothing to do. You were suffering in your mind, in your thought. And that is going along with you. What will happen? Sometimes some people, they take, no, we are going to take the sannyasa. They will go for, because they were not getting any job. So they get disgusted all, and in the houses, the mother, father, they will say, oh, you have become so, why don't you go and earn something? That man tried but couldn't get any good job. So ultimately, he leaves the house and he goes to Himalaya. And after reaching over there, suddenly he found as a rich man, he has some factories. He came and touched his feet and he said, Swamiji, if I could get a person like you, educated and good character, I could make him my manager. Is it? Then I can join, no problem. So he gives up the sannyas and becomes a manager of that. And then writes back to the family that I have got a job, don't worry about me. Is that the sannyasa? Desire is there. Even if you get the opportunity to become the king of the whole world, you have to say no. That is called sannyasa. So otherwise, it is impossible. The control of your mind is on the desire only and nothing. In America, Swamiji was asking for money because his only dream was to develop India, education in India and so different things. Health, education and economy. That was the three different things in his mind. I always say, Viveka Trishula. There's a three, the trident, the Trishula, it is a Viveka. First should be economy, then health and education. Then the society is happy, prosperous. So this is the way he used to think. Then one lady said, why you are begging money from others? You marry me. I'm a duchess. I'm having so much wealth. You can get that. Then Swamiji said, if anyone looking at me with that type of eyes and thought will become a green frog. And she got worried because in Indian yogi it may turn into truth. So she never tried. So, so Swamiji never worried about that. And the true way we are asking, true way we are thinking. So the paraloka, is there really paraloka is there? We always wonder. In our dream, it says in the Upanishad, and Shankara is explaining, in our dream, sometimes we see very queer things. What is the dream? Whatever we experience in this life, it comes back into our dream. When you were very young, we used to play with the friends, something happened, then after long 30, 40, 50 years, suddenly you see that it is coming back. That is okay. Because that you have already noticed, experienced, that comes back to your dream, that is normal. Usually, the dream means like that. Sometimes, in the dream, we see our future also. There's sometimes some people, they say, Swamiji, I always dream I am going somewhere and then I am not getting the path to reach the ultimate. Going with the friends, going with the relatives, then slowly something happened, all they go away, I become alone, I like to travel, and slowly I go somewhere where I don't know, and the dream breaks every time. That means is going to be confused in next life also. Is not going to reach his actual path. Sometimes very peculiar the dream comes. We have not seen and we have not thought. Then why this type of dream comes? That is the proof of the paraloka. Brhadaranyaka Upanishad, it says how we can understand that there are other worlds, world after death, paraloka. Analyzing the dream, you can understand there are paralokas. The dream means your mental condition, mental thought. In the waking state, it is so strong, the waves are so strong, so the previous waves cannot come back. But when your mind becomes calm in your sleep, and you go into the deep sleep, in the dream world, then your mind is calm, and all those things start floating, come back to your mind, you see in those in dream. And sometimes it is really very, very peculiar things, and that is coming from the past birth. That is called prashyapiti. Prashyapiti means dream. So in no dream state, susupti avastha, the individual self, free from all attributes and devoid of all extortions, is united with the Supreme Self. The susupti, every day actually, we go back to our Father and we enjoy the company of our Father, the God. And when we come back from the sleep, we get up and say, oh, it is so wonderful. Because that susupti, dreamless condition, is the real state of our being. And that is always blissful. No one till today reported that after susupti, oh, I was tormenting, oh, that is bad, nothing. Always they will say, I was so happy when I was sleeping, I'm fresh. The one of our Swami used to say, after getting up, he used to say, I'm fresh like a flower because I could get a good sleep. And elderly people, they don't get sleep. Sometimes if they get a good sleep, he is very happy. And that day he used to drink 2 cups of coffee. I told again, you won't get sleep because you are drinking too much of coffee. So anyway, so he used to say that I'm fresh like a flower. And he used to, some of the words he used to say always, that I slept like a dodo, dead like a dodo. So like that here. That In the sleep, when you go above the dream stage, that is the terminology they used, susupti, that is a blissful state. And that proves if we are not having the body, if we are not having the mind, that means the desire, then we truly get the joy, the happiness. Sometimes people, they ask questions, what will happen after realization of the God? Some peculiar conceptions are there. If I go to the near God, then we will cook, we will feed God, and we will do this. Some actions are thinking that way. Whatever they are trying to do over here, that in a nice way they will do. No, you will get the joy, you will get the happiness, and eternal. Vedantin will say, if you go to God, that is duality, but in duality, always fear is there. Today, God will look at you and, hey, how are you? You are happy. Next day, God won't look at you. He will look at somebody else. And then again, you will feel, why God didn't ask me, how am I? Then today, again, the same problem will come. Jealousy. Because your desire is there, only one desire, God should love me. If the God is not loving, God loves everyone, every moment. But if I don't feel, then that in the story of the Radha, same thing happened. So the Vedantins say, why unnecessarily go to that? You become that. You become that, the consciousness. In truly, you are the consciousness. And in that consciousness, you are the source of joy. You need not to wait for anybody. And it says that you can understand there is another life if you analyze the dream. But above the dream stage, it is only joy, it is only joy, it is only joy. And happiness is our goal. There is a Madhusudan Saraswati, a great exponent of the Vedanta. He said, we say the Brahman, we say the Atman. In reality, it is happiness. If the happiness was not there, who will search for Brahman or Atman? We always want happiness. We want good friends. We want to be happy. When you are conversing with him or her, I feel joy, the happiness. There are some friends who will be all the time teasing you and leg pulling you. You won't get their company. You won't like their company. They are friends, of course, known people. But you will only go to those who loves you, care for you, appreciate you. That means ultimately we go for happiness. That happiness is the ultimate goal, and happiness eternal you will get when you realize that you are the self. And how you will know that? By understanding even the dream world is the limitation, is a limited thing. I should go beyond the dream world. One who has purified his mind through meditation fill identity with the divinity in all three states, waking, sleep, and dreamless sleep, and remain in bliss. There are only three stages: waking, dream, and dreamless sleep. If you are constantly thinking of God, constantly thinking of the Atman, you get that bliss. Shivoham, Shivoham. Shankaracharya, he is teaching us. Mano buddhi ahamkara chittani naham. Nacha srotra juve, nacha grana netre, nacha vyoma bhumin. I am that Shiva, I am that Shiva, I am that Shiva. Auspiciousness. That is the joy, constantly. That is the Vedic, the Vedantic, they constantly meditate on that. The Dvaitavadi and dualist, they go take the name of God. Jai Sri Rama, or the Krishna, we have also the mantras, our Tantrikas and Vaishnava, they always give emphasis on the mantra. Because I am that supreme being, it is very difficult to remember. It is better to go on taking the name of God. And the God, his name and God same. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, If you are taking the name of God, actually you are meditating on God. So if you can take the name of God constantly, when you are cooking, when you are sweeping, when you are driving, every time you go on taking the name of God, and time will come, and slowly, slowly your mind will become calm. You can meditate. Without meditation, there is no way. Meditation is the ultimate. And what is that meditation? You can control your sense organs. The moment you can withdraw your mind, the moment you can withdraw your mind from the objects, your mind has become very pure. One lady was telling me, and she told Swamiji, when I try to meditate, I can visualize the Dakshineshwar, the place where Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna lived. I can see the Kali temple, I can see the other temples, but never I can see Sri Ramakrishna. I cannot visualize that. I can visualize his room. I can visualize the bed where he used to live. But how unfortunate, I cannot remember Sri Ramakrishna or visualize Sri Ramakrishna. It will take time. Even meditating on the places, holy places, remembering God, that is also the sign of pure mind. And sometimes some people even cannot sit and listen. Forget about meditation, forget about concentration. They even don't have the patience to listen about God. And so much disturbed mind, so many other things are there. And when they are listening, 50% or 80% mind thinking something else. That is the mind. So Shipta, Vikshipta, Mudha, Ekagra. There are 4 steps, 4 different types of mind. In the Yoga Sutra it says, and ours is Shipta. Constantly is jumping from one to another. So many things we are thinking all at the time, same time. And how can you think that you will meditate? But Sri Ramakrishna also said, you must have to meditate. Without meditation, you cannot reach up to that. And in meditation is possible when your mind is pure. And mind is pure when your objects of the sense objects in the world are not attracting you. The name, fame, wealth, prosperity, nothing is attracting you. Then your mind is pure. And then you can meditate. Apta kamam. Then we concluded this at today's discussion. He became the desired fulfill. Apta kama. Kama means desire. Apta is fulfilled. I don't need anything else. Apta kama. Atma kamam. Then is transformed into self. Apta kama. Atma kama. Atma means the self. So you desire only to be in the company of the self. That is called Atma kamam. Akamam, free from desires. And loka antaram goes beyond grief. That there will be no grief, no suffering at all. When the suffering means, I was thinking that somebody will come and bring this thing to me. Sometimes if someone says, I'm bringing a good pain for you, then he forgets to bring. Then you will find you become angry. Why couldn't he remember? You told that you will bring the pain, and suppose he has not told, there is no problem. He comes, that's good. But suppose he has come and before that he announced it, informed you over phone, hey, I have purchased a very costly pen for you from Dubai, I am bringing it. And he forgets. Then you will be angry. You have not seen the pen. He only said that, informed that. Immediately it goes and became attached to that pen, and you start thinking the pen will be like this, pen will be like that, I will write this, I will write that. You keep the paper also ready to write. And now if the pen is not coming, you are angry. So desire is like this, so subtle. And this is the problem. So shoka antaram, you have to go beyond the grief. Thank you, friends. So we learn today from this conversation of a great king was full with knowledge, Janaka. Janaka was the king, And you will find in the Indian tradition, there were so many kings, but all they talk about Janaka. Why? He was a just king. Not that he left the kingdom, he was a king himself. But at the same time, he used to look after all his subjects, and at the same time, he was a great knower of Brahman. And his curiosity to know the Brahman. So he used to invite the Munis and Rishis, talk with them, learn from them. Then one day he realized that Brahman. So many of the stories of Janaka connected with that. And this Janaka, he asked the question, and ultimately we get the idea that there are two lokas, this loka and the paraloka. And there we are going back and forth. Why? Because of the desire. The desire is the only sin that is holding us. And if we become free from desire, we go into the realm of happiness. How we can go beyond that? Thinking, two ways. Thinking, I am the devotee of God. As the Mahavir Hanumanji thought, I am the devotee of God. I am the servant of God. Anything that I do is for God. So constantly thinking of Sri Rama, Rama, Rama. Or I am Brahman, the consciousness. I don't have this body or mind. I am here all pervading. All these things that I see is nothing but consciousness. Constantly if you think in that way, then only you can reach over there. That means ultimately you have to give up all these 5 objects of the world and take your mind back to consciousness. Thank you. Let us say Shanti 3 times. Do you have any question today?
Vidyut Muzamdar is asking, Maharaj, please let me know, intellect is material and intelligence or consciousness is immaterial. And then part 2, intellect also subtle and we cannot see. How we can say it is material?
Material means we can feel it, we can understand it. It has increased, it has decreased. So that is why it is material. Material means the something, the object. Material means an object. And how we can think it is an object? Because sometimes some people have great intellect, some people not. So that is the way. Now, on that intellect of all the parts of the body and mind, it is only the intellect which is sharpest, very clean. And it says that on that intellect, the real intellect, all the consciousness reflect. And when it is reflecting, with that reflected power, we do so many things. We move, we talk, we think, even we deny God with that intellect. So obviously, that intellect is more powerful. But it is reflected. Why? If we say that consciousness has distributed among all these millions of people and the millions of beings, that means the consciousness is exhausted. But that cannot be. So in the beginning of the study, we always chant Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. You take out all consciousness from the consciousness, but consciousness remains. So this, the idea, then how it is possible? So the reflected thing on our intellect. Thank you.
Devashish is asking, can you please arrange a session about 16 disciples of Thakur, their day-to-day conversation and their spiritual journey?
Oh my God. There is a book, 16 disciples of Thakur, their day-to-day conversation. There is a book that I think Swami Chetanananda ji published. They lived with God and God lived with them. The 2 volumes are there. So one volume is for the monastic disciple and another is the devotees, the householder disciples. So you can place order for us, we can sell 2 books.
Hari Krishna is asking how to experience original consciousness.
How to?
Experience.
Okay. So that is in the end of our talk today, we concluded by saying if we can be free from our desire, then automatically we experience that original consciousness. Because we are that. We are not going to get it from somewhere or someone. We are that. Only some dust has accumulated, we have to remove that dust and we get that. Yes.
First of all, thank you for the talk. It was very helpful. Following up on that question.
Yeah.
So, like for example, Swami Vivekananda ji asked for a particular breakfast. So I don't know, it seems like he had a desire to eat that particular breakfast. And let's say he did not go to the Samadhi. It just happened that the ladies did not cook that breakfast. So his desire was not fulfilled. So in that situation, like how will the eternal happiness, if someone who has eternal happiness, how will they deal with it?
See, Swami Vivekananda, that's a good point. Swami Vivekananda asked that lady to prepare a particular breakfast. But not that he was truly having that desire. Just living with them, so, hey, can you please prepare these? That doesn't mean that he is hankering to have that. No attachment. Afterwards, if he was having that desire to eat that only, why he will go out and sit and meditate and go into Samadhi? And Samadhi is possible when there is no desire at all. That means then he came back, he took that, again he was enjoying. The Vivekananda, they always say, and that if you offer, Vivekananda after eating, he will go out, and he never practiced the American table manners, that when all are over, everybody has completed his food, then only you are supposed to leave the table. Before you are not supposed to. That is the manner. But Vivekananda, the moment he will finish, he will get up and go. Nobody said anything. Only to keep him in the table, and as long as he is in the table, he will be talking in different way, sometimes hilarious stories. So people used to enjoy his company. They used to say, Swamiji, our last dessert is ice cream. The moment they announce the ice cream, he will say, ice cream? Then again he will sit. Do you think that he was a glutton? He was eager to eat? Not like that. It's all fun. So this attachment is not there, but apparently he shows with people. Suppose in the house, mother has cooked or some wife has cooked some good dishes, you don't appreciate. You would eat and, no, I am practicing meditation. I don't care about food. Will she be happy? And every day they are thinking, what has happened to this man? He is not happy at all. Why unnecessarily you are making them unhappy? So you show and yeah, oh, so tasty, so good. And then, of course, the problem is if you say good, they will go putting more. So you have to be careful with that. But anyway, that way, if you think, inside, you are not attached to that. You like it, that's all. So attachment and liking are completely different. Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah.
What is the difference between mana and chitta? How is it different?
Mana and chitta. The difference between mana and chitta, that when we say mind, it combines everything. But in Sanskrit, they have given the 4 sections of the mind. Mana, then buddhi, then chitta, then ahamkara. Mana means a part of the mind which cannot take decision. It's constantly dwindling. Shall I do this? Shall I not? Shall I do this? Shall I not? When this is going on, that particular position of mind is called mana. Sankalpa, vikalpa. Sankalpa, vikalpa, atmika, manaha. That is the definition. Then, shall I do it or shall I not? Then you go to buddhi. Nishchayatmika buddhi. I am going to do it. Whether good or bad, whatever happened, I am going to do it. Decisive faculty. That is called buddhi. And chitta is the storehouse. When mon and buddhi, they all are finished, whatever happens, all the impression goes and there is a record. So chitta is the record book, is the storehouse of all that. And ahamkara is the main force by which all these are working. If you don't have eye sense, you won't be able to do anything. Sometimes the word they use, jellyfish existence. Lying like that, you don't have anything. And in Hindi sometimes they say, मैं क्या मंदिर का घंटा हूँ जो आप बजा के जा रहे हो? Everyone comes and do something on him. It is not like that. You have the personality, the ego. That is called ahamkara. So these are the four groups. Thank you. Yeah.
So, my question is around the intellect. Is intellect part of a subtle body?
Intellect is a part of the subtle body.
So, when you die and you take another body, so our individual soul passes from this body to that body.
Yes.
And the subtle body also passes from.
Yeah, it's actually subtle body. The subtle body consisting of 17 abhayava. That means the 17 characters are there. The mon, buddhi, chitta, ahamkara and all that. So they will be going, and actually that is the impressions, that storehouse. That they will go, and he chooses that particular mind, having no body, but he chooses the body and the time, where, in which family he will take birth. That in the Upanishad they say, that particular person after the death, sometimes he cannot go back because he loves that body so much. So he comes and hovering over there. But sometimes those who are very much attached to that body, they will be staying there for 21 days. And those who are very much attached to the body, sometimes 13 days, sometimes 11 days, like that. And after that they become tired. Their friends, their relatives were so close people, even the wife or the husband, not understanding. So they go, they touch them, and then you will feel the feeling, some uncanny feeling that comes, and immediately after the death. And then they get tired. You know, one lady told me, I'm sharing, it's our personal thing, I think she'll forgive me. That is, she told her husband passed away in an accident, and she was that body was in a morgue, and you know, Indian morgue, and particularly in a remote place, it was not properly kept. The body got that bad smell. And one day when she was sleeping, after 1 or 2 days, I think almost the same next day, she was a courageous lady. She felt that someone has come, as her husband used to come in the room like that, but it's a very bad smell. Then she got up and told, I know that you have come. I know that you have come to see how I am. I'm fine. I have to live without you. But don't come in this way. It is so bad smell, I cannot tolerate. Previously used to come with all good smell, and that is all right. If you can come, you're welcome. From,
That's a subtle body, you have impression, and that cannot be destroyed, it seems. But can you dilute it? For example, going from one life to another life.
and that can be. I'm just telling you, that is the proof that some people, they experience the subtle body. The subtle body came, and the subtle body came in that particular condition, so the bad smell, bad odor was there. Then ultimately, it never came back. Where it went? It went back. Then naturally, that particular soul, he was a very good person, I knew him. Then he went back to somewhere where they say you usually go to the Chandraloka, that place. And then from there, those who are worshipping the god, they go to Devaloka. Those who love their ancestors, they go to Pitriloka. They will go to their ancestors. And again, that person, maybe after the few years or few months, as per his desire, he thinks, no, I should have to fulfill my desire. He comes back. Choose that family, husband and wife, and they come to that particular food that the father will eat, and then they go into that family, take birth. I don't know how to explain this, but this is the record, they say, and this is the way it takes birth. Who is doing it? That mind which is called subtle mind and subtle body. Complete thing is there except this physical body. Everything is there. And when they take the body, say slowly grow up, and after the 16, 18 years, they start functioning in their own way. And parents, they wonder, how come my child is behaving like this? It is his original behavior. After the 16 years or 18 years, it grows. So that is called Vyaktitva, that is personality grow. But like that, the subtle body is always there. You cannot destroy it. Okay.
What are the compartments you mentioned? Is there a hierarchy, like ego, mind, and intellect, and all? So
Say again?
you said there are compartments of the mind, and is ego the last one? You mentioned the compartment.
Mano buddhi chitta ahamkara. Yeah.
So is this the levels are there, or is just the same?
No, that is a function. The mana, the function of the mind is it sees something and then cannot take decision. So they always think, what shall I do, what shall I do? And the mana buddhi, it takes the decision. That is the function, that's the action that is taking, buddhi. And chitta is not doing anything. Whatever is happening, it is recording. And ahamkara is the power that helping them to function. That is the four. The four different functions. Okay then, I think. Okay? Let us say Shanti and we conclude. Om Shanti, 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you. So please go down and have prasad and then go.